Hey y'all. So we are here live on my other channel. If you are new here, y'all click subscribe. Hold on. Echo. If y'all are new here, please subscribe. And like I said, this channel is for women who want to know their real power. Okay. Not, about dating or anything. So don't ask me questions relating to dates. Okay. This is a totally different channel and y'all got to respect that or else I'm not answering the question. So, and don't try to disguise it as a question about something and then it's really about a date. Okay. Because I'm not answering it either. And I'm not answering it right away. It's going to be more towards the end of the video. So don't ask it now and I'll let y'all know when to ask. Okay. So y'all are here because y'all want to know y'all's real power as women. Okay, there are different types of power that women have, depending on a lot of things. So I'm just going to start out with the basic, simple things. Okay, any woman who has a period, you have power right there. Okay, everybody knows that if you put your period blood in someone's food or drink, they're more likely going to submit to you or fall in love with you or do whatever you want, especially if you do it often. If a man sleeps with you, if a man, does oral things to you on that time of the month, it's a wrap. He's yours, whatever. Basically, it's not something that will control him 100%, but you're going to get more of what you want out of him without doing too much. Okay, so that's number one. Everybody knows that. And there's another connection. All women have natural connections to spirits because we bring energy, souls, and spirits through our wombs into the planet as people. So we naturally have that connection. And so if you naturally have that connection, then you're naturally able to also have the connection with spirits that are here right now that you can ask or tell to do what you need them to do, right? So that is literally like saying, okay, I know I'm a woman, I'm connected to the spiritual realm. And especially at that time of the month, you have a lot of, energies around you. Your aura is bigger. You have more power when you command and when you manifest, when you speak. That's why in some cultures and in the old days, they didn't want to be around women at that time of the month because we were able to command, manifest, and do whatever we wanted to on a larger scale. And the reason why in some of the holy books it says if a woman if a woman's blood or if a woman touches something, it is unclean for 7 days and because it has power. It ain't unclean. It got power, literally. So that's why they kind of shunned it and not really talked about it a lot because they don't want you to know that's where your power is. And a lot of men, especially male magicians, they know this. And so they try to use your blood and your power to increase their aura and attract spirits to them so that they can work with them as well. This is why a lot of men will ask you, especially the ones that partake in this type of stuff, will ask you, for some of your blood. Now, it's not unclean. It's simply very powerful. And it allows you to literally rule over men or get them to be your servants. Now, I'm going to tell y'all how this works. It's not that the man becomes your servant. It's that a spirit that you want to, tell, it's like, I want my man to do A, B, C, and D, right? So the spirit literally goes and makes the man do A, B, C, and D. Okay, so that's really what it is. And if you are aware of your power as a woman, you know this. You know this. That's all. So how to honor, okay, so your energies and your spirit, especially from your period, a lot of people have been taught, oh, this is a bad time of the month, or oh, it's gross, or oh, men think it's gross, and da, da, da. So could you imagine how these spirits feel that are, from you and around you, and that come from you, literally feel that they're being shunned, ignored, not used, or not acknowledged or anything. So a lot of times women who know their power during their time of the month, and even beyond that, they honor those energies and spirits that come along with her period by, putting out fresh flowers and some water, taking care of herself, using that time to be creative or think and rest and just take care of yourself, and just honoring the all the good things in their life, and writing down things that they want and things like that. This is literally the time that you're supposed to do it, because you are the most powerful. Okay. And so instead of ignoring it and saying, oh, I'm in pain, I'm suffering, and da, 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 this is the worst time ever, it's kind of like, um, you know, being discriminative towards all those quote unquote spirits, ancestor energies. Some people call them familiar energies. So, I think if you are a woman who is sexually active and you're sleeping with a man, and some of his energies got into you, but you did not get pregnant that month, and they're coming out with your flow, a lot of times these can be familiar energies. Then you have energies that are ancestral energies, which are just your energies because you haven't been sleeping with a man, and getting their DNA within you. And so there's different types of energies that you can work with, right? And so you work with your own energies that have not been tainted by a man, then literally they can help you get the man to do what you want. So I'll give y'all an example of what I do. I do it for the kids all the time. I tell them, look, watch this, so that they know, because there ain't no better way to teach than to teach by example. I said, watch this. Daddy's going to do something nice for me tomorrow. He's going to offer me a gift. And the kids will be like, okay, we'll see. So the next day I get up, I got, of course, some candy or whatever. Then he says, oh, I'm going to give y'all $100 each, and y'all go buy something nice. That's not a lot, but it's still a gift, right? For no reason. I didn't say nothing, didn't ask them, just because. So literally it's like this, the energy or the spirit gets into their mind and gives them the idea to want to offer. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So work with this during your time, even if it's not your time of the month. So let's say you have a spirit that you have. A lot of women have been through trauma. Okay, let's get into this part, since we already know that period part. A lot of women have had trauma in their lives. And if you've had trauma, most likely you have a spirit that is with you at all times. I will repeat that for y'all who didn't hear it in the back. If you have had trauma in your life, whether it was when you were a little child, a teenager, an adult, whatever, if you have had trauma in your life, you most likely have a spirit with you. Because a lot of times when you were in trauma or in danger and you were afraid, a lot of times these energies that are there around you could have been in your house, it could have been, from your mother, it could have been from your father, it could have been from anyone that kind of cared about you, or an ancestor that would have, rushed to your aid. To either make you feel safe, to get the other person to leave you alone, or such and such and such and such, right? So if you've ever had an aura picture taken, which I have, you know, where they take a picture of like the energies around you. Some people will have a separate energy and these little white circles, which are spirits around them. And I have those. So some of them are guardians and some of them are guides, so on and so forth. So if you've had a lot of trauma or just enough trauma to cause someone to, a spirit to come in and to try to protect you, then you have that energy as well. Okay. So you can call whatever you want to, baby. But if you have those, if you have been through trauma, some people don't work with their energies or their spirits. They ignore them and they literally choose another way to escape or to deal with whatever it is that they still deal with. But if you are someone who studies and understands a lot of different types of, you know, knowledge, and you get wisdom, then you can definitely work with these energies to create the life that you want. Okay. It's almost as if, okay, so you had that problem. That doesn't mean your life is over. Let us help you now. You get it? All right. So a lot of people try to escape their memories and the things that have happened to them instead of just making the life that they want to see instead. And so those type of people will usually turn to addiction, to get validation, to be people pleasers, to have like, you know, issues accepting themselves. But then there's the other side where you understand that there's someone there to help you get to the level that you want to get to. That's literally it. And it's not always about fame. It's not always about you know, having the best thing ever. It's about what you want and what in the life you want to live, right? How you want to live your life. So the people in your life, how you want them to act, what you want them to do for you. And it's not like you don't love these people. It's just that you allowing the energies to work through them in your benefits. Kind of like that. So that's how you get a man to do what you want them to do. If you have these energies and these spirits, and you do, you're just not aware of it, all you have to do is say, oh, I would like this man or my husband or my boyfriend or whatever to do this, this, and that for me tomorrow. And there it is. Now, there's another aspect to this. If you see yourself as a goddess, you're even more powerful. Okay? You're even more powerful if you see yourself as a goddess. And let me tell y'all why. Because if you choose a certain type of goddess that you really relate to, whose message that you're, you know, yes, like, yes, I totally agree with that. If you are, they call it, you know, if you are representing this goddess in your physical form, if you are teaching or spreading, you know, knowledge and wisdom about this goddess, or not about the goddess, but like if you are spreading energy and awareness and educating people the same way that this goddess might, if she were here, then you automatically get even more influence with those spirits and connection to them in order to create the life that you want. But you have to put in a while, you know what I'm saying? So like a lot of people don't realize this, but I've been on YouTube for 10 years. So I've been putting in this work for 10 years. And so when I recognize my own power, when I say, you know, I'm working with the energies that are from my trauma, my wisdom, my knowledge, the knowledge that I get from helping other women, da 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 da. And then I can use that to influence or use that to communicate with these energies to, create the life that I want, then that's how it's done. But you have to be able to do it as well, because you have to believe that it is you that have the connection. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You have the connection naturally, because your body is a natural vessel for spirits to be attracted to and to come through. So you are literally able to attract them. Now, there is a negative side to this, which is why I say, if you are sleeping with someone that doesn't really like you, and you are sleeping with them unprotected, and that time of the month comes and those energies come out, it's going to be mixed with yours and his. Okay, who knows what kind of baby that's going to be, baby? I don't even know. So make sure whoever you choose to sleep with, and you're going to try to use these energies when when your flow comes, it's better to, be protected, to use your own energies versus a man's energies, because you don't know what his stuff is mixed with, what he been doing, where he been, if he really likes you, all that kind of stuff. So I'll be like very weary of, unless y'all are both on the same page and y'all know what y'all are doing and y'all have come to an agreement to do those types of things, great. If not, don't even bother. Okay. Yeah. And so you're going to start, those energies and spirits are going to be like a mix of your thoughts and his thought forms or whatever. So you don't want a negative person, influencing you, or vice versa. Okay. So don't sleep with nothing dusty that don't even like you, girl. um. So if you okay, so this is, if you someone says, what about girls that were molested by their father? Then I feel like, what is your relationship with men? How do you feel about men in general? How do you feel about men at all? You just blame that individual man? Do you trust men? So it has to do with all of those things, how you feel about you. You know, did you tell on them? Did you tell someone? Is it still a secret? Like, how are you in that space? You know what I'm saying? You said you're scared of men. Okay, but you have more power spiritually over the spiritual realm. So if you want to alleviate your fear of men, then learn how to control them through your spirits, through your energies, through your ancestral spirits. You know why they call them ancestral spirits? It's because if the ancestors are reborn through your womb, what type of energies do you think are in there right now that have access to your womb, that maybe, waiting to be fertilized? And if not happening this month, they just gonna come out and be free until the next month. You know what I'm saying? So those are your ancestors on your side that you can literally command or respectfully, you know, instruct to do what you want. So you need to do it. If you want that man that hurt you to feel guilt until it runs him insane, then so be it. If you want him to confess what he has done, then that's what you make those spirits do. If you want worse, that's up to you. But you need to take control of your own power. And do you know, a lot of men do that a lot of men that know this information, they do that to their daughters so that their daughters are able to, so that they're able to use their daughters' spirits and energies to their advantage. because now you're afraid to use them. You think a man is more powerful than you. You know, you fear men, and basically they're putting you in your place. And plus, they're probably just, terrible people. But I would definitely reclaim the power and then make them do what you want them to do. Okay? Whether it's giving you a bunch of money or confessing or whatever that they've done. It's up to you. All right. That's how you turn your trauma into power. You use your energies and your natural connection to spirits to get them to do that for you. But of course, you can't do that under a patriarchal God. That's number one. So if you still worship a man God, a male, if you do what men tell you to do, psychologically, you're still dominated and overpowered by a man. So you have to release all of that and say, you know what? No thanks. And you have to let that go, because religion is used a lot to keep women from their real power. That's why I don't know if you've ever read the Bible, when it talks about periods, they always are saying that it's evil or it's unclean because it's power over a man. Okay? Remember that. So use it. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. It's literally your choice, but you have that option. Okay? If you have the option and you need it, it's there. Now, I'm not telling every woman to use it. You don't have to use it at all. You don't have to use it at all. You can use it if you want, but you don't have to use it at all. Okay. So, and a lot of people don't realize, like, no matter what people say, no matter what they write or say about you, it's literally just up to you to accept it or not. You do what you want, especially if you have that type of energy that you have access to. Okay. You said I would love what? I don't love any male-dominated religion. I mean, if I would love it, I would love any religion that bowed down to the woman. But, I don't really think that that's what they do. Unless their God really is a woman and they just ain't saying it. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I wouldn't even say a woman. I just say a goddess. Because like a woman is literally, depending on what patriarchal story you're going to take it from, they try to say women come from men, but goddesses come from goddesses. So if you have a connection with a goddess versus a man or a god, you're going to be more powerful than you already are just simply being a woman. Okay. Now, you don't have to worship any goddess. You just literally need to feel like that you have representation in a higher capacity, in a larger field. You know what I mean? Okay. Men say they plant seeds. Okay, but who waters them? Okay. And who got scissors? Who can cut weeds? Who can cut plants? Exactly. Just like a man plants seeds in the womb. Right. That's why you don't sleep with a man unless y'all are in the same type of agreement with each other. All right. And sometimes, like, you don't even know you're in the same type of agreement, because there's even Bible verses that says husbands, wives, your basically what you want is going to be contrary to what your husband wants. So that means y'all got to get on the same page if y'all are going to do that thing together and produce these energies and whatnot and these children. Now, let me talk about these children. There are different types of children. There are spirit children, and then there are real children. So this is going to get a little, y'all probably already know it because some of y'all already know. When you are intimate with a man and you guys climax as one or together or whatever, and it goes up into your, pineal gland or whatever, you're making little children. Okay. Or a figure that is both of you guys in spirit form, right? All right. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You said the egg is the seed, the sperm activates the seed. Yeah, true. You say, is a blood confident form if you partake in activities while menstruating? Well, if you really think about it, scientifically, this is why we have science too. Every so often, I wouldn't even call it blood, because every so often your body and your blood totally renews itself. And each day you become a whole different being, like not a being, but like your body renews itself. So, and also just lots of different things. But if you think of it that way, it's not permanent, because you can make one with someone else and someone else and someone else, and eventually it will wash out. Or, if you want it to stay, it's going to be there. If not, you can wash it out. Depending on, like, there's ways to purify and cleanse yourself at the same time. Okay. Yeah, body regenerates. And so a lot of people are celibate for a while. A lot of people do cleanses and their body regenerates and so on and so forth. And, different things. Or they call in other spirits to cleanse them of those spirits, literally. And so it's very energetic, I would say. And after you do that, if you don't want to be, associated or in a blood compact with that person anymore, then you just start working with your own energy instead. Okay? Because if you do that, it's more powerful anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You said most women don't climax with a relief. Exactly. So, so use your energy, use your powers, use your manifestation. And they call it manifestation, right? Literally. Because your spirits infest, or there are spirits that infest within man to do what you want them to do. Okay. So remember that. Your man should be, especially been with him for a while, he should be doing whatever you want if you know your power. If you don't worship a male god, you should be even more powerful as a woman. Okay? Trying to help y'all. All right. Now, the woman definitely has been demonized and told that she was evil from male patriarchal religion, because she has connection to the natural energies and spirits that are attracted to her, because she does bring life through the planet, from the spirit realm. So she's going to always have a higher intuition, stronger intuition. Women's pineal glands are larger than males. Okay. So we definitely are more, tuned into the spiritual realm. So We have a connection with the cosmos. We have a connection with the moon. We have a connection with, the spirit world, and something that men don't have as strong as we do. And so that's why we can literally speak and control. Okay. So if you believe in any male gods, if you worship male gods, if you bow down to male gods and all that kind of thing, you're literally giving your power and your energies and spirits away and giving them the credit and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you have a lot of women that have used these type of powers, and you see them every day. You see them every day in the media. You see there are lots of famous women that have done this to their men, and now their men are just very cooperative. Okay. So sprinkle, sprinkle. All right. What about women with sons? Like, what kind of sons? Like sons, like physical sons or spiritual sons? Because I know some of y'all be talking that double talk, and I know which one y'all talking about. So women with sons, like spiritual sons, they got to do what she's saying. All right. All right. So, okay, so a spiritual son would also be like, let's say one of your energies or your spirits has gone into your man, and whatever you ask, that's what's your man gonna do, because then he becomes your son. You get it? You know how Nicki Minaj be like, go sit on the potty because now you my son? That means you gonna do what I say. Period. It's over. A lot of people in the industry definitely practice this because they have to, not because they want to, because they have to, literally, or else they'll be taken advantage of if they don't, you know, if they don't. So they have to. They're literally forced into it. All right. So, but sometimes they don't have a son, they just have a spirit that doesn't identify as anything. Sometimes like this whole gender neutral thing, this whole whatever thing, that people are, identifying as or whatever, that stops a lot of issues as well when it comes to people trying to take advantage all the time. It's like a neutral zone. Okay. Uh-huh. So you said the original god was the son of the goddess. But a lot of the times, like when you think about it, the story of Osiris and Isis, he went to the underworld, and in order to produce a son, they had to go find his pee somewhere because it was gone. And there's different stories about that, but like on one story, she used a fish, and instead of because she couldn't find his body part, or the fish ate the body part. I don't know, but in some stories it's different. There's like 3 different versions of that story, but it does. The whole point is she sunned her husband and sent him to the underworld. All right. And That's the moral of that story. She put him down. And so, yes, the underworld is the world beneath you. Okay, so women, all of our body parts are up and inside of us, right? And the male body parts hang. So they're in the underworld, right? Their sperm is literally in the underworld. Our eggs and our uterus are literally above, not below. So their sperm, their energy has to be pushed up only through the excitement that comes in part from either looking at a woman, or if they're gay, looking at a man, I don't know. Looking at something that turns them on, that lifts their spirits, literally. Okay. You ever heard the term lifts your spirits? And a lot of women ask, why do I feel so depressed? Do you sleep with men unprotected? Is some of your DNA lodged in somewhere down there? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like you're in a place that you can't come out of? Then stop sleeping with them men. Stay away from sex for a while. All right. Um, all right, here we go. How do you cleanse from unprotected sex? Hopefully you'll have your period and cleanse your womb like that. They got them. Um, I know a lot of the people be doing them yoni steams and all that kind of stuff, but definitely, hopefully, your period can cleanse you. And then if you eat properly, cleanse yourself, then you're good. All right. So get rid of it. Okay. You said does phone sex count? Do you think it counts, ma'am? Do you even know what real sex is, ma'am? All right. Do I believe in soul ties? No, not if you don't want them. Like, it's literally up to you as a woman to want to be tied to someone or not. Okay, because like I said, you have all this power and connection to spirits. So if you don't want a soul tie, then all you got to do is say, look at here, spirits. Ain't no soul tie getting ready to happen over here before you do anything. But a lot of women don't know this. And so they end up getting this feeling of being tied to someone. Okay. But if you don't have that feeling, you're like, you know what? That was just casual. It didn't mean nothing. You could literally, and let me tell y'all this. Okay, so let's say you have an energy or a spirit that you command, or that wants to please you, or just wants to be your friend, or just wants you to have a good life. That spirit can literally go and enter or possess a man, and that man can come and please you. And you will literally be like sleeping with that spirit, not that man. That man is like a rental body. So literally, you won't get super attached if you know that it's a rental. If you don't know it's a rental, you could get attached. But if you understand that, a lot of what you know and these energies and spirits are there to bring you something, they will bring it. All right. Ask your spirits. Sprinkle, sprinkle. To this question right here, ask your spirits. If you are very in tune to, especially if you're connected to a goddess, or if you're a man of God, whatever, and you somehow you spread their teachings and do something, that's, allowing people to represent, or allowing her to represent through you, then you get more favor and more spiritual connects. You said spirit husband, whatever you want to call it. You could do it if you want, or you don't have to. You can say, you know what, I'm done with you, and so on and so forth. You said Anubis possessed your baby daddy, and you got what? Prefers right after? Prefers. What's prefers? Anyway. You said when you take a bath, you break us all the time? Okay. So definitely use your energies to attract what you want. Okay. You said sometimes you can be in love with somebody and not even know it, or they could be falling in love with you. Because some people, like, they don't. Now, y'all got to listen to this. Some people don't allow themselves to fall in love, which makes it easier for other people to fall in love with them. Okay. Unless you're just in love with yourself. Yeah, there's that such thing if you're in love with yourself, or, some people are in love with themselves. Okay, so a lot of people don't realize that you have this power, this energy. You just have to use it and see for yourself. That's the only way you're gonna know. If you do it for yourself and it works, and then you're like, okay, well, this is easy. Let me go ahead and keep going. Mm-hmm. So, and don't ask me, like, you're not supposed to ask another person which this should I do, what should I do, because I don't know you. Therefore, I'm not going to know what type of goddess for you to work with. That's for you to figure out. That's for you to be, on a search for. Okay, so only you can answer that question about yourself. Okay. Women's period is natural purification renewal process. Some Native Americans, males go to sweat lodge ceremony for purification to mimic period. Yep. Sprinkle, sparkle. Yeah, that's literally what Jesus is a mimic of the bleeding woman on a cross. Okay. So the region here where your womb is and your vajayjay, is what they call it, is the bleeding cross. And so since they made male patriarchal religion, they instead took Jesus and made him a stigmata of a woman bleeding. Okay, so he's literally supposed to be a woman bleeding. The blood, okay? But they, of course, took him in and tried to put him in a woman's place so that you would not know that you had power. Okay. Because look what he did at the Last Supper. He drank blood, take this wine in a chalice and say it's my blood. Men don't have no chalice. Men don't have a uterus. They don't have a womb. That's what the chalice is. It's the cup. The cup is the womb. So he said, drink from this cup, my cup, whatever. Think of it as my blood. Basically, he's saying drink from the period blood. Okay. And then this bread, this is my body and this is my blood. It's a woman. All right. You said that's why you respect Jesus? Because he was literally, they made him very feminine so that those who knew this type of information would say, okay, so the male patriarchy just put a man in the place of a woman instead of just writing in a woman. So Jesus was literally a scapegoat for the men to feel empowered as some type of savior or God when it was literally the woman. Do I believe in cord cutting? At birth, you got to cut that umbilical cord eventually. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So the thing is, a lot of people say, oh, cord cutting. Da, da, da. If you want to, you can. It's totally up to you. Okay. About when women have menopause, they still have spirits. They still have familiar spirits. They're still connected to the universe. They still have a womb. They still have fallopian tubes. They still have the connection. Their pineal gland is still there, still larger than a man's. So they can tap more into their divinity, their wisdom, their knowledge that they have gained from the spirits throughout those years. And they can also pass some of those spirits on to others, or they can keep them like with an altar and so on and so forth. Plants, all sorts of things. They can have gardens and all that. So, for example, if you still have some of your blood, you can pour it in a potted plant, a garden, grow a plant with it, and there your energy and spirits will be. A tree. A lot of women do this. This is why a lot of places are haunted. So, y'all know that movie, The Conjuring? Y'all know the movie The Conjuring? So, back in the old days, women used to either burn their, like, when they had like their periods, they had like rags and towels. They either used to burn it or bury it, right? Some women buried it or poured the blood in the backyard. Okay, or they buried it or something. So that spirit of that woman or the ancestor or whatever, maybe we don't know if it was a familiar spirit, if it was an ancestor spirit, if it was an angry spirit for, a trauma spirit. We don't know what it was. Makes sense why powerful men always went to women oracles for decision in ancient time. Yep, sprinkle, sprinkle, that's correct. So, thank you. So a lot of people will pour their menstrual blood into the earth or the land, or bury those rags or whatever, or a tree would grow or something, and those spirits would grow with it or would remain in that place on earth. And so when people would move into the new houses, they would be like haunted by these spirits that have been left behind from these women or these men, whatever, or the mixture. And so a lot of times people don't realize that if you move, you need to call like some people just die before they can do it. Like the lady in the story, The Conjuring. Like if you know the true story behind the Conjuring story, I guess she died before she could call her spirits back, or whatever. But a lot of them haunted houses are literally the spirits of and these energies that never left, or from trauma. Mm-hmm. You said you want your own hotel. You heard some tribes be putting menstrual blood back into the earth. Yeah. And then that way they can call upon the spirits of the earth as well, because now they're mixed. So a lot of people, when they burn those rags and that blood goes up into the atmosphere and mixes up with the the mists and stuff in the sky and the cloud. Now they can command the weather. Okay, that's how powerful you are as a woman. You put your stuff in a graveyard, you command the dead too. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So you see a lot of witches that go to the cemetery and bury stuff. Now they can control the dead, the living, the weather, the earth spirits, or whatever you want. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Mm-hmm. So remember that. So if you want to try to work with your spirits and your time of the month, and just get you like, be sure you're like happy about it, and you are acknowledging these energies, and maybe give yourself like fresh flowers, and treat yourself nice, and then just try to connect with yourself and see if you can you know say something and see if it happens, or see if you want to look into like the future, or you want to see something. Maybe you can use your cards if you have tarot cards, a pendulum, or you could just ask yourself and then write down something that comes to your mind. Just literally, that's it. Or you can request that the information comes through certain people, or social media, or through signs. You can request how the spirit communicates with you, and you can also limit how the spirit communicates with you. So for example, if you don't want the spirits communicating with you through, let's say, your boss at work, if you have a boss, you say, okay, well, don't communicate with me or help me through this certain person, or only connect with me through symbols of nature, or only connect with me through song, or only so you have the say so in how they connect with you. Okay, so it's literally up to you. And if you don't say that, and let's say somebody that may start talking and answering a question that you may have requested spirit to answer, and they answer you with the exact same words that you may have asked, then you may be a little bit shook. You're like, but that's that energy coming through that person to give you the information. If you don't like that, then you need to make sure that you say, I don't want you to communicate with me through people, only through these means. Yeah. All right. I think I missed something. Hold on. Mm-hmm. You said Jezebel. They got the Google for that, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Google. All right. Sunshine. Do birth control pills? I don't even know. I haven't been on birth control pills since the early 2000s. I have no idea. Ask someone who knows. Okay. If y'all know in the comments, can you tell them? Because I wouldn't know. Sprinkle, sprinkle though. I think they have male birth control pills now for men too. Okay. Let me read something. Hold on. Okay, so here's the thing. When people say blessed by God, only a goddess can bless a god. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. So unless she commands him to do something for her. It's true. Y'all have to realize, you have to understand that, like, men always try to put themselves above women, but they don't realize, they don't understand this. They won't understand until they have to. Y'all have to stop doing that, for y'all get put under. There's some women that know, and they will put you in your place. You know how to say put you in your place? They will literally put you in your place if you don't stop messing with them. Like that, okay? All right, so if you want to bless a woman, just give her some money. All right? There's nothing a man can do to bless a woman. Your sperm comes from the underworld, literally outside of the earth, under the earth, under the physical body. So you can't bless nothing unless you are a woman. Okay. You know that this term bless comes literally from sprinkling of blood. You have no blood to bless with. So that's why I'm trying to help y'all realize that y'all have fallen for the okey doke when y'all men say God is going to bless you with what? His period? You mean goddess? Woman? What he going to bless us with? So, no. You said bloodless. Y'all gonna bless us with what? Them demons under y'all? No thanks. You and all your knowledge, we be blessed to have you. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So, you know, you can't really have someone. They just, just listen and learn, baby. Just listen and learn. Like sprinkle, sprinkle. All right. So when they say, "Oh, God bless you," you know what they're really saying? May God bless you with what? His sperm. All right. You said bless us with ignorant mansplaining? No thanks. Now, if you want to be blessed by God, by all means, if that's your thing, go ahead. Ain't nobody mad at you. Look, I ain't here to judge. Y'all like that? Y'all freaky like that? Go ahead. Okay. Y'all do what y'all gotta do. Um, so if y'all like to be blessed by God, be blessed by God. If y'all understand blessings by God, that's what you do. I don't. That's why it's so funny, like when some of you guys or some of them bots or whoever be leaving comments, God bless you. I'm just like, yeah, God bless you too, ma'am. God bless you more. Because they can't bless me. I'm a goddess. I'm too high up, ma'am. Sprinkle, sprinkle. All right. The only way a man can bless a woman is through intercourse in her womb. And then she literally blesses him right back. So it's the only way you can bless. By not trying to imitate a woman. That's another thing. Okay. You said when people say God bless, it's like they trying to curse you. Exactly, especially when they put it in caps, baby. Y'all, I know a lot of y'all know this, but for y'all that don't know, hopefully there's some of you still in here that don't know that can actually learn. When they put stuff in caps, it literally means they're trying to cap all over your head and rise up over you as if they're going to dominate over you. So when you're putting like stuff in caps, like if the person knows it's literally just obliterated. So that's why knowledge is literally power, because they have no power over you. If you know, you know, right? That's why there's no fear. So a lot of people don't have that fear because they see what people try to do, but they, you know, they let it slide because they're smart and they know it's exactly what they're reading and what people are trying to say and what people are trying to do. And it has zero power because if you know, then your spirits will take care of it. Literally. Sprinkle, sprinkle. In a good way. Now, some people go crazy and go all the way left. But you know. For the nice ladies out here, you know, we know better, and it doesn't materialize over here. All right. Also, if you're an animal, like if you've had a lot of pets or animals, they may have like a spiritual connection to you as well. So like if you were a child and you had like some cats or dogs or whatever, and they passed away and they, you know, y'all loved each other or whatnot, you can also have those spiritual, you know, helpers, I'll say, from your past pets. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. You said, so a lot of times, like I already spoke about that in the beginning. So you can just watch it from the start. All right. From the beginning of the video. Okay, so let's say you get a spirit or an energy and you say, okay, this is what I want. Like some people can definitely bond or connect closer in knowing what certain you know, beings are saying. So like whatever. But some people don't have any interest about what animals are talking about. And some people do. So for those of you who, you know, work with animal spirits, then maybe that is what you're into or what you like to try to use spirit to help you communicate with or whatever. That's they used to do back in the old days. That's why in the Bible, they had talking animals because it was literally their spirits communicating through animals or, you know, telepathy through these spirits. And even in the Bible, they talked about, oh, familiar spirits and all this kind of stuff. Or these, you know, these types of spirits or whatnot. But they would never give the woman, they would never associate the woman's period with her power or spirits. They would just call it unclean and that a man should not be around it because she could overpower him, right? You said the snake and Adam and Eve, exactly. That's why Adam just did whatever Eve told him because she made him, you know, do what she wanted. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You said a lot of these, you know, if you're triggered by my videos, just don't watch. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Some of these guys come in here triggered. Don't watch if you're triggered. Go watch them channels where men be scared of women. You know? Have y'all seen those channels with those guys on there and they're like all scared of women, scared to eat spaghetti, scared to be around them at that time of the month, calling them Jezebels and whatnot because they scared they're gonna be next. Go watch them. They're hilarious. The funny thing is they can tell you a lot You know, they be talking trash about a lot of these women in the industry who have men that do whatever they ask. And they're literally mad. I'm like, that's not your business. That's not your relationship. Okay? Don't be mad. Just let it be. And then there's some women that are in these little like witchcraft groups watching women do spells and use their spirits and energies to like spell men. And then they go run tell men, like some of them pick me should be out there. Y'all better watch out. These women in here casting spells on y'all and making y'all do what they want. Da, 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 da. I'm like, that ain't new. That's been forever. It's not new. It's new to you, but it ain't new. Sprinkle, sprinkle. All right. Yeah. I don't think anything about anyone that has little PP syndrome or is way shorter than me and has deep insecurities within themselves. So I don't want that kind of energy and I don't want to think about it. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. I don't have them problems. Okay. Because y'all seem to forget that if certain people weren't on social media, you wouldn't look twice at them, think twice about them. Okay, y'all got to think about it. If certain people were not here on whatever channels they are on, you wouldn't look twice at them, you wouldn't think about them, you wouldn't care what they thought. So, yeah, little PP syndrome. You did. You say your cheater boyfriend won't leave you alone? Then get you another boyfriend. What he gonna do? Wait line? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Um, I don't have TikTok haters, ma'am, because I'm not on TikTok. I have 0 accounts on TikTok. So the only people that got haters up there is whoever is trying to post my videos and whatever from there. So I literally do not have haters from TikTok because I'm not on TikTok. And like I said on my other video, if that's how they first got to, hear what I say, it's not me that's posting it. Okay. I would never think to go to TikTok and put my information there. Okay. Only because it's more for a more mature audience that actually has, the capacity to use the knowledge in a way that's going to benefit them and their family. All right. Yeah, I don't need to be on TikTok. What's TikTok anyway? People with very low attention spans who judge everybody but can't go outside because they got social anxiety. I don't need to be over there. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You said, do we command or ask? It depends. What type of relationship and what type of energy is this? Is it your energy from your time of the month? Is it honoring a part of yourself or your ancestry? Is it a familiar spirit after you slept with somebody and now their energy and your energy mixed is coming out of you? Or is it a spirit that has always been with you, like a guardian or spirit guide type energy that may have come from, protection or trauma or some sort? What type of energy is it? Is it an energy from, you know, a deceased a deceased person? Is it an energy from a pet you used to have? What type of energy is it? So I would say the type of energies you can command would be the lower energies versus the higher energies. Those you would have more of a relationship with, as or a, like a requesting or asking, or not even really asking, but just mentioning what it is that you would like to see in your life and to see if they want to do it for you. So it's just like having a man. It's just like saying, "Oh, you know what? I really like these shoes over here. They're so cute. I hope I get them one day." And then all of a sudden someone's offering to buy them for you. It's kind of like that. I don't command higher energies that are higher than, like, like a pet or something like that. So, or a lower, you'll be able to tell the difference. So just depends on, how big of a task you're asking for. The little stuff, okay, like you have some, like, smaller energies around your house. Okay, so yeah, I don't want to clean up today, or I don't want to do this today. Let hope someone else does it or volunteers to do it or get it done. Like stuff like that for lower level. You don't have to command, you can just request, or not even request, but just mention that's what you want. I don't like people telling me what to do, so I try to be cordial sometimes on what I ask. Unless I'm not sure, then I'll take the command, mode. Who said TikTok for people that can't focus? All right. I'm not making fun of people on TikTok. I'm just saying I never put myself on there. Okay. You said, is it best to put yourself in a space in which he aims to please? Probably it depends on who he is and what he's aiming for and who he's trying to please and what it is that you're getting out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like some men don't know that you're a witch or the type of woman that you are, or have guardians or protectors or spirit guides. Some men don't know that. And even if they try to practice magic themselves or try to do something, they don't know a lot of the stuff that you are capable of or have. And so sometimes they'll try to do something to you, or they'll try to take advantage of you, but literally it will not work in their favor. It will literally be like trapping themselves. So a lot of times, if you know the woman practices magic, it's best not to try to do something like against them, because you don't know what type of energies they're working with or what they got, like, spiritually with them. So best to just get to know them, and they're not gonna tell you everything if they smart either. They ain't gonna tell you nothing. And if they do tell you, it's like, they can always do more upon that. You sell warlocks and male wizards is always backfires on them. I know. So, warlocks, it's like they enter into war with you, right? Or they try to lock you into a war with them or yourself, right? But if you rise above that to your goddess status, they be fighting against themselves, literally. Okay. And the reason why they call them male wizards, because they have to whiz their energies out. And it still comes from, it's not even as powerful if it doesn't mix with a woman's energy. It's literally coming from the underworld versus the higher planes. So if they want their energy to be even more powerful, they have to use a woman's energy to, collab with it. And if the woman is aware of it and she's on board with it and she says, okay, let's do this, then great. But sometimes if they make the woman unaware of it or they try to trick her, It's going to end up backfiring and they're going to get trapped. You know what I'm saying? All right. They be fighting against themselves, thinking they're fighting a woman, but it ain't us, it's them. They trapped. Okay. So what I mean by that, it's like, okay, let's say, so men be on some vampire stuff. Some of them think they know what they're doing. It's better to work with a woman and be honest because you get more out of it. You know what I'm saying? If the woman is more willing to help you and there's no trying to dominate or all this kind of stuff, that's a better approach if you're a man. If you're even if you're not straight, a lot of gay men still work with the spiritual energy from women. They don't have to be sexual, but they work with the spiritual energies from women and things like that. So who says spirits be spilling tea? It's so funny. Spirits. Oh, now you okay over here now. Now you okay. Mm-hmm. Spirits spill a lot of tea, but it's funny because you don't want to say nothing. You don't really want to say nothing because that's not your, what you call it. That's not your place. Right. And see, there's a difference between different types of women. And there's people that want spirits for gossip and information. And there's spirits that want to literally make their lives better or the lives of people that they love better. So there's better ways to use energies and spirits than to gossip. Anybody can gossip. You don't even need spirits to gossip. You can gossip with anybody. So that's not even really using them for the job that they're capable of. It's kind of like an insult. Unless that information can help you in a major way. You know what I'm saying? All right. How do you know if spirits are communicating with you? You'll know. Okay? You will know. Ask anybody that be working with them. They know. I'll tell you how. You'll see lots of synchronicities, lots of coincidences, lots of signs that literally just call out to you. People will say things or know things that they shouldn't know, even act like they don't even really know what they're saying. But it's literally a spirit trying to communicate to you if you allow them to communicate through people. But if you don't allow them to communicate through people, it will be things like on social media. It will be things like that you hear. It'll be a song on the radio. It will just be like small, subtle things to guide you or to give you information. You said it could be animals. Yeah, it could be anything. It's funny how it works. Like, for example, you know how a lot of people have pets or witches have cats or whatever, right? So like if you're getting ready to do something that's not in your best interest or something like that, maybe your cat will walk in and meow at you really loud and then walk away. And if you start to try to do it again, they come back and meow again. Like something like that. Or it could be a person if you don't have an animal. It could be a person that may interrupt you before you do something. You know what I'm saying? And try to get your attention. And it will feel as if there's another type of energy coming from their voice or something like that. So they'll try to keep you from doing something that's not in your best interest sometimes. Okay. But you'll know because you'll feel it. It won't be super subtle unless you are unaware of them. All right. Now, like angel numbers and stuff like that, those are distractions. Okay. Those are literal distractions. So like a lot of you guys who get stuck on numbers and all this kind of stuff, those are the distraction energies to distract you. to keep you off you ignore those. The best thing to do, in my opinion, if you get those distractions, energies, and spirits, is to read books. When you start reading, you're focusing your attention more on something that you actually want to learn about and gain knowledge on. And so you can kind of reprogram the spirits to bring you knowledge and information on what it is that you're reading. So you need to, if it's getting like distractive, it means you're not focused on what you want the spirits to be doing for you. So those are distractions. They don't have their board. They ain't got nothing to do. They're like, look, I'm here. Use me. What you got? Here goes some numbers in a row. I'm here. Use me. What you need. What you want. You know what I'm saying? So find something and focus on it, and then say, this is what I want to see. I don't want to see no stupid numbers. Show me some knowledge. Show me some information that, is going to help me. Show me a way to, get some more money or whatever. So they're just like hanging around being bored because you're not acknowledging them. No, you're just seeing some number patterns. So focus them on what you want. All right. So when y'all seeing all these dumb numbers, it's because you're not aware of your spirits and you ain't focusing them on anything. Focusing them on something. Say, bring me some money. Bring me some clients. Let me learn a lot of new stuff that I didn't know before. That's just like them sitting there, it's like some bad kids, not bad kids. It's like some kids sitting there and you told them to sit down and they're bored and they're just making noise to let you know that they're here. So they need something to do. Give them a task. You said your guys left you stranded. Why? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You don't have, you need to call all the guard. You need to call, sorry about that. You just call some more spirits if they left you abandoned. Y'all want to hear something weird? Because y'all know I used to be a mortician, right? I used to be in cemeteries every other day. I used to be in a funeral home with dead bodies. I got like connections to different things. You know what I'm saying? So I have a lot of spiritual energy there with a lot of different stuff, a lot of different types of energies. So that's why you gotta make sure, like, if you want to attract more types of energies, you gotta get out there a little bit more. All right. Mm-hmm. But you remember, you always have energies within yourself, especially if you're a woman. So you can never be abandoned. All right. How do you leave a narcissistic man, please? I don't even see narcissists. Like, y'all keep telling me about all these narcissistic people. They don't exist to me. I don't even know how y'all can see. Like, it's just weird to me because a lot of y'all are like, how do you leave a narcissistic man? That's why you can't leave them, because you got to ask how to leave them. Think about that. Think about that for a second. How do you do anything? You just do it, right? So like you have to I said the best thing that you can do as a woman is to see yourself as a goddess. That is number one. The first thing you got to do, you got to see yourself as a goddess. That's number one. You want to be very powerful, you have to see yourself as a goddess. You have to refer to yourself as a goddess. You can't be ashamed of saying that you refer to yourself or you relate to a goddess. That's number one. That's what you got to do first and foremost. Okay. That's what you got to do. Whichever goddess that you are wanting to, spread, let's just say, okay, you know how some people choose a god or a religion and they spread the gospel or the knowledge of that religion? Well, you have to find a specific goddess that you resonate with and help spread that knowledge and that information that that goddess is, pertaining to. So let's say you're on YouTube and you're like a beauty like YouTuber and you do makeup and stuff. You would probably resonate with a goddess of beauty, right? And since you're teaching makeup and things like that, you would literally be serving the purpose of that goddess here on earth, right? You might even put their name in your YouTube channel title, in your email, or something that people have to refer to you a lot and use that name. Okay. So whatever you do for a business or a living, see if there's a goddess that definitely would represent that in which you do. And that's how you already know that's going to be easy to get, I would say, more spiritual and powers and energies, whatever, to work with you if you're representing these types of goddesses. Okay. Now, I've already been doing that on my YouTube channel for 10 years. So if you've already been putting in work for 10 years and it relates to some type of goddess, then you should claim that. Okay. Like a lot of men who worship, Jesus and God and stuff, they're always putting like God in their name or, some form of, a name that means Jesus or some type of son or what, all kind of stuff, stupid stuff. Not stupid, but like whatever, So they're literally associating themselves with a higher energy or a God. So women should be able to do the same thing, but we have so many different types of goddesses that we can use for our benefits, that way you can use them, and the spirits will work as like a medium between you, the goddess, or the goddess that you're representing, or the people that you want to influence or do whatever you need them to do. Okay. But see, the thing is, I don't want too many things from people except for only a few. So I'm not abusing the power. I'm not abusing my, whatever I'm using. I'm not abusing it at all. So that's why, I can safely say I'm good. See, a lot of people that have spread my information on TikTok and upsetting a lot of people, it may seem as if I'm abusing this power because I'm answering y'all's questions or giving, like from my other channel, I'm answering questions or giving you, types of, information that you can use in your situation. But a lot of the stuff I never actually, took advantage of because I never was put in a lot of those situations. And some of the situations I was put in, I definitely used a lot of the things that I teach, but not a million times, maybe a couple times when I needed to. So that's the difference. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And they can also work through social media and technology, these energies and spirits. So yeah. So I chose Shira on purpose. What do you mean, Shira? I chose a lot of things on purpose because sometimes a lot of people don't realize this, but sometimes you can have more than one name, okay? And more than one goddess as well. All right. You can have more than one goddess, more than one name. If y'all are coming from religion, you know how they say, I have, there's, the God of many, many faces and of many names. So you can have multiple names, multiple goddesses, whatever, or whatever you choose. You say Erykah Badu got several different names? Of course you do. And a lot of women know their power. That's what I'm saying. So if you only got one name and no goddess, you got to get to work and get you some names of some goddesses, ma'am. Some spirits. And watch. Give yourself 2 months. Give yourselves a name. Find a goddess. Represent her. That means, whatever she's doing, teaching, whatever she stood for, represent that. And, when it's that time of the month or whatever, or just speak to your spirits. And, mention things that you would like to happen. And see what they can do. See what they can do. And it's even more powerful if people call you by your names or whatever names that you want them to call you by. You know what I'm saying? Like Shira or Ashira, or if you have an alias name or whatever, you have a bunch of different names. If people call you by those things, it's even more powerful. Okay. You said there's a reason why most religions exclude women. Yeah, because we're too powerful. We would just take it over. Some of them old school preachers and them old school churches don't let women walk on the pulpit, where they stand up there and preach. They get mad. They think they got to go and bless it and all this kind of stuff after a woman walks on it. I told y'all when I used to be in the funeral business, I walked on this pulpit and this pastor freaked out. A woman not supposed to be up there. I stayed up there as long as I could, act like I couldn't hear him, then act like I forgot something, went back to pretend to get something that wasn't even there, just to make them mad. Anyway. You said most don't even know the definition of a narcissist. That's because they don't have to. Because only women are concerned with that because they're the victims. They're the ones that choose to live in their victimhood. So if you choose not to be a victim, you will never experience a narcissist unless, it's yourself. Okay. So y'all got to think about that. Does it matter if you've had a hysterectomy? If you still have spirits from other things, like if you have a guardian energy from maybe childhood that has stayed with you, or if you have pets that have passed away, if you have plants, a lot of those plant spirits and energies you can also use. Yeah, so that's why you always see them old ladies with a lot of plants and cats, because they can use them. Okay, you know how a lot of men be saying, "Oh, you're gonna end up an old lady with a bunch of cats." Okay, that means I got a bunch of spirits. That means I can work with you. So you better watch out. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So yeah, get you some cats and some plants, ma'am. Or a cat and some plants. some herbs. Okay. And then you can take those herbs and you can speak your intention into the herbs, and you can make a tea or an incense and burn it, and then that will release the spirit to do your work. That's what spells are. You know, that's what a lot of spells are. So, because those plants also have energies, spirits, earth spirits. And if you want to mix your spirits in with those spirits to make them more, you know, to you, then you can put your DNA and your plants. You know what I'm saying? All right. There's always a way. Men can use plants too. You know, they got a garden. This is not just like women. There's power for men too, but women are just a higher vibrating power. But men have the ability to do certain things too. Don't get me wrong. So you can use plants and herbs and stuff like that. Men do it all the time. There's like alchemists out there that really know how to, you know, do a lot of things too. I'm not discrediting men saying that they're powerless. I'm just saying women are very powerful, and a lot of their power has been hidden from them. Okay. And if a man and a woman both know their power and are honest with each other, and they can literally, you know, create a lot of change in the world that they want to see, instead of warring against each other or trying to dominate over the other one, they can literally create so much more, especially if they're all about, you know, on the same frequency and trying to create or co-create. But a lot of women aren't, and a lot of men aren't. And so that's why you have the war. You say you're an herbalist? Mm-hmm. Um, Also, like if you have ancestors that had certain jobs, now, like if you know your ancestry tree or your whatever, if you had ancestors that have had certain types of jobs, had certain types of knowledge, you can definitely call upon those ancestral spirits of those particular ancestors to come through and work with, so you can have some of their knowledge. Okay, so if you don't know a lot about your ancestors, um, you know, they do have that website that you can look up if you have their names or if your other family members are on there. Let's say you don't want to put your DNA in there, but your other family members have, you can use their information if they give you access to it, to find out who your ancestors were and what they did for a living. Or you could just look up the census with your last name or whatever, you know, whatever. If that's your real ancestor, because, you know, some of them people didn't have paternity tests back then, so it's hard to know. To see if you look like them. Like, see if you look like them. You don't look nothing like them, that might not be your real ancestor. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you know, a lot of these ladies back in the old days, they had a bunch of kids, right? You know how back in the old days, women had a lot of kids to help out on the farm and whatnot back in the rural days? That might, all them kids may not have been them daddy's kids. You know, that daddy might have had to go out of town, go to the military. You come back with 2 more kids. So a lot of times, not your ancestors might not be your ancestors unless it's on your mama's side. So always look to the mother side. Okay, that's how you know. Always look to your mama's ancestors, because the daddy we don't know. All right. Always look to the mother side of the ancestry tree, because the other side is iffy. All right. We don't know about them. They could just be the one that was there soon after. Okay. You said a sugar daddy. So he worshiped. Okay. Okay. First of all, like, this is just my opinion of what a lot of things are in code. Okay. And some of it's not politically correct as far as how people see things. Okay. So you have to kind of have an understanding about how some people see things. So the holy death is what that means, like Santa Muerte, right? The holy death, right? So if a man worships that, he warships, he ships to war with, right? And literally it's a skeleton figure of a woman with a cloak on and then a crown, right? So what is he literally worshiping? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Do goddesses cook and clean? If they're a domestic goddess, sprinkle, sprinkle. Some goddesses are not domestic. They are they a goddess of hearth and home? Because I'm not. Anyway, there's several types of goddesses. I'm trying to tell y'all. Okay, so yeah, okay, so you said what? If they want to, they can. If they don't, they won't. Now I was trying to scroll back up because I saw a comment that I was trying to read. Okay. Trying to, dang, find it. Oh, well, anyway. Whatever he worships, he worships. I don't know. Like literally, if he whatever he chooses to worship, he chooses to worship. Uh, I was there was a comment that I was trying to answer, but I don't see it anymore. So if you think of geography or places that speak different languages, it's like a border. It's like a literal border. It's like where people are speaking one language and where people are speaking another language, it's like a different realm. Okay. And so if you're on a different realm and you're worshiping on a different realm, the realm of the underworld, there's a woman literally that he's worshiping from the underworld. You know what I'm saying? So think of your body as the earth, right? Think of your body as the earth. And underneath your body, especially your womb area, underneath that is another realm. Think of it as Mexico. And or think of your body as a country. So you're America, North America, Texas. And underneath you is Mexico, right? So there's a border there between worlds, right? So if he worships that energy, he's coming from below the underworld. You get it? Below the underworld. He's coming from below the underworld. In order to worship through a woman who has him locked in the underworld. You know what I'm saying? So basically, somebody sunned him, and he got to worship that person in order to get free or get things that they want. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You said Baphomet, same thing. The androgynous in like they're both androgynous. Like if you coming up from the underworld, you obviously coming up through a man because I told you the balls hang in the underworld. So obviously you got somebody down there that got them, somebody in there. You got to worship through the underworld, and then you have the androgynous figures that are masculine and feminine energies mixed together, and so that's what's happening. You said Jewish people are matrilineal for a reason. Yes. So a lot of people, like, that's why a lot of people should never worship anything. Okay, let me tell y'all why. I keep trying to tell y'all, never worship anything because it's dumb. Because what you do in your spiritual or your material over and over and over, and you put a lot of energy into, is going to manifest in the physical. And if you don't know what you're doing, and you just saw somebody, ooh, that look neat, you can learn all that there is to know. You can look at the qualities, what it represents, but you never supposed to worship anything. And that's why people mess up. Okay. So don't worship it. Because you might get stuck. All right. You don't worship anything. You can learn, they can teach. Energies can be mediums between you and whatever energy that you're trying to learn from, but you never worship ever. Okay. Right. Because that means you're beneath them. And if you have to worship something, you're beneath them in the underworld. You know, if a spirit wants to descend upon you in order to give you knowledge, that's different than worshiping something from underneath, from below. If you want to, like I said, if you want to learn more, then you never have to worship anything. So, for example, if someone was not a Christian and they wanted to learn as much as they could about why people became Christians or what Christianity is, they could read books, study whatever books and texts that were available, never having to be a Christian, never having to worship any type of God or Jesus or anything, and know more than someone who literally sat there and worshiped. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about worshiping, it's about learning. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you always think of God as you in his image. Are you a man though? If you're a man and you are in the image of God, then you're a man, you know. Why not think of goddess in your own image? Because there are more than one. Like that's why in the Bible it says you should have no other God before me. If there was only one God, why would he be saying that? Okay, because there's goddesses and other gods that you can and I'm not saying to worship them. I'm just saying gods and goddesses are not to be worshiped. They are simply energies that are larger. So, like, for example, if you were standing next to Beyonce, I'm just going to use an example. If you were standing next to Beyonce, who has more energy? Who's giving out more energy when people see them? Who are people going to be more excited to see or meet and know more about? It's kind of like that. So, what does she represent? What do her songs talk about? Da, da, da. So that is what you are kind of saying what a god and a goddess is, so it's not a being to worship. It's just what they represent and what type of energy they give and what kind of, you know, association that you get by being associated with them. You get it? All right. All right. And so like also like your names like are very interesting. Like sometimes some people don't even know the power of their own name. But if you put law in front of something, like I see somebody in here with a law name. It usually, in my opinion, it usually relates to a masculine, feminine energy. Um, they have to put law in front of it. You know what I'm saying? So, because they don't have the feminine energy, so they have to put a law in front of it. Like, you ever hear on those like songs where I think it was Run This Town when Jay-Z says, "This is La Familia, I'll explain later. But first, let me get back to this paper." So La Familia would be like the family or the ancestors from the underworld, but mixed, So then some people say familia, which would be like family, which would be like a mixture of people, like it could be masculine and feminine energy. So you say ancestors, that's from your direct bloodline, from you, and your energies, like as a woman, from your menstrual cycle, okay, your period. So a lot of people would describe their familiar energies with the term familia or la familia in rap, okay? Because a lot of people work with a lot of these energies. Okay. I don't know why y'all ask me if I will always be saving my videos. Do y'all know how to work? Okay, so a lot of people are not really, savvy on how YouTube has changed because YouTube changes a lot. And so you definitely have to, you know, this is a live video, which means it's going to be saved under live videos. So when you go to look for this video in the future, you need to look under the live video feed on the channel and that it will be there. Okay, it's not going to be under videos, but for a short amount of time. It would only be under live videos because those are the playlists or miscellaneous. No, I'm on a different channel. Yeah, it's going to be under miscellaneous or live videos. Okay, or in the live video feed, whatever you want to call it. Here you go. On my channel, my She Star Goddess channel. Do I believe that aliens came down to Arizona or Las Vegas? You mean aliens? That's how I pronounce it. Aliens? No. I believe that if an alien would come into anyone, they need permission. Sprinkle, sprinkle. They have to ask you for permission, especially if you are higher than them. Like a lot of people have had encounters and they've been taken advantage of because they ain't got no power over them. But if you have power over those types of energies, they have to ask for permission. They can't just do what they want. They literally have to ask. Okay. So if you're asking like because you don't know and you're literally asking about what you see on TV, like these alien beings and stuff like that. Because if you don't know, I don't know, um, then that's up to you to believe. But some people that have encountered certain beings, those beings always need permission, and you always have to say so. I don't know, maybe not as a man, but maybe as a woman. I have no idea how it is for certain people. But for women, you need their permission, especially if they have some type of energies. I don't know. You said, is there a heaven? It depends on your definition of heaven. A lot of people's definition of heaven is very different. So, what is your definition of it? Like, what do you think a heaven is, literally? The promised land? The sprinkle, sprinkle. How do you manifest peaceful? Why would you want to manifest anything like that? Honestly, I'm not thinking about that. All right. Y'all be asking some weird questions. Like, I think a lot of people should ask themselves these questions because it's literally your opinion of yourself and your world that matters most to you, you know? Because if you're any type of alchemist or someone that can transmute anything, then you can change a lot of things and what they mean for you and how they make you feel and vibrate. So nothing is permanent if you are able to transmute it into something else. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that, it's literally they can answer their own questions if they don't know, because everybody's situation is very different. And not everything that you see is what is, and not everything that is what you see. Mhm. What deities do I like working with? I don't really work with deities. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Um, I like goddesses, and goddesses like me. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. How did I manifest my internet fame? I didn't. I never said I want to be internet famous. I never said that. um, yeah. So, but a lot of people, may have like, if I say, oh, I want my channel to have more subscribers, and if there's different ways for that to happen, that's how it may have happened. But I did not have a physical hand in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did not post anything on TikTok. So therefore, I just wanted to, have more subscribers on my YouTube channel. And that's literally it. And that's why that's why I would say I don't have to go on TikTok. Because I never really had to go on there physically to do anything there. Mm-hmm. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Yep, I do a lot in my world to empower myself. Because y'all act like I'm out there in the world or in whatever. I'm right here. For I've been here in the same place for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And I don't go out into the world to do anything. I, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's hilarious how people think that I'm going out in the world to do something when I don't. When I literally just sit here in my own home doing the same thing that I've done for 10 years. But yet y'all say that I am going out into the world to help others, but I'm not. They're literally just helping themselves. They're literally helping themselves because if someone were to go out into the world to do other things, then they would be less able to spread, whatever it is, types of information that they're giving. Because more people literally can listen to you or whatever it is you're speaking by a click right here, you know. So a lot of people try to um, describe what you do, but they do it so incorrectly. Because that's one of the things that I keep trying to tell y'all. There will never be a meet and greet. I will never be out in the world doing anything except for what I choose to do on my personal time. So a lot of people need to realize I ain't doing all that. And sprinkle, sprinkle. So, when you get your spirits or your energy that communicate with you, they give you a lot of discernment as well, like to tell you who's good and who's good for you and who's not so good for you, or is who has the best interest for you and who doesn't. And so you get a lot of this knowledge naturally, and you're able to see and know who is good or bad. You know what I'm saying? Sprinkle, sprinkle. And I don't like to label people good or bad, but some people aren't even aware, you know what I'm saying, of themselves. So that's why you can't really be upset or mean to people sometimes, because they're not even aware of themselves. Some people aren't even aware. They just say what they say. They're not aware. You can't really be mad. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people like remember your vocabulary words that you use sometimes. A lot of times when you use certain vocabulary words, um, you're actually giving power away versus bringing it to you. You know what I'm saying? Um, when you read certain people's comments, like when I'm reading some of y'all's comments, a lot of some of the words that y'all use are also words that allow you to uh, try to bait one's energies or spirits to yourself. And it's so funny because a lot of people you don't even know that they're doing it. And I think before I knew that I was doing it, that's why I can't really get upset with a lot of people because they don't even know what they're doing unless they do. But some people are literally saying certain words that will draw out their own energy, or like to bring out other people's energy to come within them. But if you understand your power and you only release your energy at will or on your own terms. So even if people are literally using certain words, they really don't have any power. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You got flashbacks of your past. Girl, I mean, you still got a good memory. Sprinkle, sprinkle. When people can't even remember what they did yesterday, girl. Be happy. All right. Sometimes, like, if you know too much or if you know a lot, you'll see more and you'll have more awareness and you'll have more discernment. But if you don't know too much or you don't know a lot, then you'll have less awareness and discernment as far as knowledge is concerned, but you might feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You might have a feeling about something that you don't feel comfortable with. But if you have all of it, it's even more powerful. So, like, if you really just think about the words that some people use, like, I'll give you an example. A word like inspire. A lot of people say, oh, I need some inspiration. I need some inspire. That means you need some energy within you to spire up in order to give you some energies or some information, right? So depending on who it is that you want as inspiration is, what you're calling in. Okay. But you can't be inspired if you're from above. You know what I'm saying? So if your energies, the energies that you're calling on are not from below, but they are from above, then you can't call them for inspiration. You know what I mean? You can request that they bestow knowledge upon you or something like that, but you cannot ask a higher energy to inspire you. Those are more on the same level as you or beneath you. You know what I'm saying? Or the earth energies around you. Okay. So, for example, if you were a Christian or Buddhist or whatever, you were praying to the gods or the God, whatever, you wouldn't ask them to inspire you, would you? Would you ask, if you're from patriarchal religion, would you ask God to inspire you? Or Jesus to inspire you? Or would you pray and inspire them to give you what you want? You can't ask somebody on a certain level to inspire you. They got to bestow knowledge upon you. Or they may not be on any level. They might just be like, oh, good luck. Hope you find some inspiration. Okay. Okay. You said you would be surprised what people pray for. I don't even want to know. Right? Um, I don't inspire them. They inspire themselves, literally. What I think people come to my channel for is permission to be who they always were and who they want to be. So that's the difference between a lot of people who, I'm not sitting on here creating anything. I'm not inspiring you to be more creative. I'm not doing any of those things. You don't like, I'm just giving you the permission to be who you are, or who you want to be. Or I'm teaching something that I would like other people to know, you know? So I think of inspiration more as like creative energies or things like that. Yeah. Now you could be amused. It depends on who, like for what I'm doing right now, if I'm not even in this, YouTube, and I'm just in my real life and doing what I want, I may inspire like other people for other things that I'm doing that have nothing to do with this channel, like on YouTube. So like I might be drawing a picture and somebody be like, "Oh, you're such a great artist, now I want to draw," you know, because they saw me drawing and they want to see what they got. They want to see what they can do. So it's literally just like that. Okay. You said, how do you start to consider people as friends? Um, I really don't think people have friends except for like since childhood, because once you get of a certain age, friends are just a nice term to call people that you interact with. And the closest definition that you can find is something that you may have experienced in childhood. So you just call them a friend. But literally, once you get to a certain age, there are no friends. Yeah, they're literally associates, people that you know, and that's literally it. But you could call them a friend, but it's not literal. You know what I mean? Okay. Unless you didn't have friends as a child and you only knew friends as an adult. It could be that way too. All right. You said tolerate. Yeah, because like when you're friends, when you're little, it's like friendly competition. It's like, oh, I bet I can beat you running to the stop sign. Or, oh, I bet I can, color better than you. But think about when you get older, how that turns. The older you get, those little coloring contests and races turn into more than that. So think about that. Mm-hmm. So there's innocence, exactly. Aww. And see, that's where a lot of people get, like when they get older, they start to think that adult friends are the same as childhood friends, and that's where they make their mistakes. So you have to look at it through a different perspective. You have to say, okay, I had friends in childhood that were innocent, and you know we competed with innocent things, but as an adult, that's no longer true. You're no longer innocent, so you don't compete with innocent things. You get it? So now you're competing with other aspects of your life. Like, okay, well, I bet I can have a nicer house than her, or I bet I can find a better man or better job than her, or I bet I can outdo, it becomes competition. So friends are literally just competitions. And if they can't beat you or if they can't win in the competition, they get mad at you and they don't want, and they talk trash and stuff like that. So I say on my other channel, when a lot of women are, becoming better in life, they lose a lot of friends because there never were friends in an innocent fashion. They were just people that were comfortable on the same level as you were until you started to surpass them. So you said dogs are friends. Yeah. So that's why I say, do you really want friends? You can have a lot of friends if you allow a certain distance between the competition. You know what I'm saying? If you have nothing, almost nothing in common, and there is no competition, you might can have friends. So you got to find the right sort of friends that are not in close competition with you. All right. Yeah. So you like if you have an old person that are old and wise, you could consider a friend. If you have, someone that's totally way different than you, it could possibly work out as a friendship. Even if you have like the opposite sex as a friend and they're like not even attracted to you, so that, that what you call it, magnetism isn't there between woman and man, and they don't want to sleep with you, then that's probably even better. But at the same time, you don't want friends that are in close competition. Okay. Not saying that it's a good or a bad thing. It's just saying that people are people and they're just going to do what they do. Mhm. Yeah. And a lot of times when you have people that's trying to be your friend too much, then that's not a good thing, because if you're not out there being social in order to really make friends, people shouldn't be trying to be your friend unless they have ulterior motives. You know what I'm saying? All right. Unless you're like new, like you go to a new school or a new work and people just want to welcome you, that's different. But if you've been there for a while and then all of a sudden somebody coming in trying to be your friend and stuff, it's like suspicious. No, I'm good. Stay over there. hmm Um, yeah, I'm all for, wanting women to know their power and to get what they, need out of their lives. But when it comes to like companionship or friendship, it's a totally different story. And it's very okay to admit that. But at the same time, everyone knows that it's the truth. So take it for what it is and keep it moving. This is a plot of siblings. It depends. It depends on how close you are or how far you've drifted. I don't know. Or what has been done. I don't know. Like a lot of people have different stories, so I don't know. Are you close? All right. Needy friends are annoying, girl. You ain't saying nothing but a word. That's why I don't. That's another reason why I don't have friends, because I don't have the patience. I don't have the. I already got kids. All right. Add friends onto that and pets. You got to choose which one is more important. It ain't gonna be the friend. Sprinkle, sprinkle. It's like if you got a lot of stuff going on in your own world, if you got a lot of stuff going on within your world, you ain't got no time or no room for no friends. What about lifelong sibling rivalries? I don't know. Like, do you have one? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Like, I don't rival against anyone because I'm already just who I'm gonna be. Period. And that's how you have to think. Like, if someone is rivaling against you, just ignore it. Just let them rival against themselves. I don't know. I don't know. Like, sibling rivalry is so funny to me. But knowing your energy and knowing your powers, you could tell your energies, your spirits to make things go like you want them to go. Like, you have a sibling rivalry. You can, like, you know what? I don't end the sibling rivalry so that people are, you know, cordial again. There you go. It's like use your energies, use your spirits. They'll help you. All right. Can you elaborate on how to become more feminine? Um, I mean, if you're, do you, what do you describe as feminine? You know, are you getting what you want in this? Are you getting what you want? Are you able to attract men? Are able to get them to spend money on you? Are they bending to your will? Okay. Do I believe in karmic children? Um, no. I don't believe in any of those things that I literally have not thought about or heard about or read about, because I never read about no karmic children, since I don't even really believe in karma. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a patriarchal religion type thing, then no. Think about that. If it has anything to do with patriarchy, then no. Hmm. Maybe if it was worded a little bit different to make sense to something that I knew, I could answer that better for you. But since it's coming from a religious, patriarchal religious term, I don't know. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You said children are what you raise them to be. If you call that karma, then okay. Yeah, like explain it in a better way. Like your children being something that is your karma or something. I don't believe in karma, so unless you believe in karma, then and you believe that that's what your child is, that's literally up to you. But I don't believe in karma at all. Hmm. Children bred into karma bloodlines is a cursed bloodline. But who is the authority on that? You know what I'm saying? All right. You said what? Having a baby by a dust? That was your free will, ma'am. That was your choice, right? So how's it karma if you have free will? I don't understand. Why don't I believe in karma? Because it's from a male patriarchal religion. That's why. Y'all keep asking me why I don't believe in certain things, because it's man made from a male patriarchal religion. It don't matter what it means, but who created it, who made it up, who put it out there. You know, because if you're a man, you gotta worry about karma. If you're a woman, you're a creatrix. You're a natural. You know, y'all really gotta think. Like, y'all are so male dominated that y'all don't even realize that your power as a female does not create or need karma to function. You bring in energies from the spirit realm. You are in contact with nature and spirits. You're connected to the cosmos. Okay. You command spirits. So what's karma got to do with anything? That's from a male perspective. If you want to create it for someone else, perhaps, but remember who you are. It does not apply to certain types of people, only to those who believe in it. When you believe in something, you live inside of that belief system or that thought form, and that's what you live by. When you don't believe in something, you don't live in that system. It does not exist for you. So therefore, if you do not believe in a male dominated religion that creates words like karma, then it does not affect you. You can transmute that energy. You can definitely use your mental and spiritual connections to do whatever you need to do. Okay. So this is why I say a lot of y'all don't even realize that some of those Eastern religions are definitely male dominated. They may seem more feminine in nature, but still definitely male. So don't rely on anything like karma. It's not for you. If you truly want to be feminine, then you don't do karma, man, because that's male domination. Do you think there's also part of destiny or only free will? It just depends what you believe, what you want. Goddesses don't care about karma. No. So what if a woman does another woman wrong? Like every day that women do. You could do another woman wrong by gossiping about her. So you gonna get karma for saying something about another woman? Then if that was so, no one would even realize that karma existed, because everyone would have it and it would be just the norm. You know what I'm saying? So here's my thing. Perhaps if it is real, which I don't believe it is, no one would even realize it. Why? Because everyone does wrong, or everyone does something. Or if you think about alchemy, like the law of cause and effect, become the cause, and then you control the effect. Okay. So, for example, if you wanted to do something, but you don't want to get karma back for it, or you don't want it to return to you, then do it so it doesn't return to you. Do, like a lot of people say, oh, well, how can I get my man to, or somebody says, okay, how can I get my man to break up with his girlfriend so I could be with him? How should I get rid of the girlfriend? Da, 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 da. Right. A lot of people were asked this. And then they'll be like, but I don't want no karma behind it. They'll say this, well, how do I get rid of my girlfriend? But I don't want no, how do I get rid of his girlfriend? But I don't want no karma behind it. You know what I simply say? Well, maybe instead of doing a spell to get rid of the girlfriend, you might do a spell for the girlfriend to find a better boyfriend and leave him. You know what I'm saying? So become the cause of what you want, not the effect. You don't collect no karma if you ain't, bad karma anyway. You're not collecting any bad karma if you're not doing anything wrong, in your opinion. Oh, well, I don't know about that. That's a good idea, but So a lot of women look to do the woman wrong in the first place, never thinking to just help her get a better man, so that ex-dusty you want to be free, you can have back. Instead, why don't you do a spell for yourself to get a better man, or someone that you get along with better, or someone's going to do more for you, instead of trying to get the ex back from this other chick. Like, literally. All right. So yeah, I don't think about karma. I don't believe in karma. It's man-made. It has nothing to do with goddesses. Okay. That's something for men to think about, not women. Think about this. When all those terms were created, women weren't even allowed to read and learn about stupid stuff like this. That was for men. Y'all really got to remember what they allowed and didn't allow women to know or do or practice back in the day. A lot of women weren't even allowed to practice certain religions at a certain level because they were women. So a lot of these rules do not apply to women, but y'all are so brainwashed by a lot of these patriarchal religions. You're taking their knowledge that is specifically for men and applying it to you, and it's not really working for you the best way that it could. Okay? It's supposed to work in your favor, not to your detriment as a woman, as a goddess. Okay, so if you are a man, karma might exist a lot for you. Okay, because you are not the cause. Unless you become an alchemist and learn the ways of how to think differently, then you can transmute that karma. But karma is more for men, not women. Okay. Because think about this. If you have all these spirits and connections and stuff like that, and you get mad at your man, and them spirits, it's like, you know what? You done made my my mama or whoever, whatever they call you, mad. And we don't play that. They're gonna go figure out something to do. You know what I'm saying? That's karma right there. All right. This you done made my mama mad, or you done made my goddess mad, or you done made my human mad, or whatever they call you. All right, we gonna see. Okay. So especially that time of the month. Mm-hmm. You said pendulum swing? What, men gonna get periods? No matter how far the pendulum swings in any direction, you can't take away a woman's period. If you want life on earth, that's always gonna be. It may be hidden, the knowledge may be suppressed, women may be this or that, but they still gonna have that energy and them spirits. You said feminine rage is real, exactly. So you're still gonna have energy, spirits, frequency, a larger and more powerful aura. Your pineal gland is larger by nature, ladies. So you are spiritually more powerful. So you can come in the spiritual realm, bring it into this realm, and do what you need them to do. You know what I'm saying? If you need to. Not just for your amusement or just because you're bored, but just if you need to, or if you need help doing certain things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're right. It says, should you visualize him in the sunken place? Is this person bothering you? You know, because a lot of people are just going to do this because they're upset that the man didn't choose them. So y'all have to be careful, okay? Like, if this man is literally bothering you or not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and are things like that. Not if they just chose someone else and moved along, but if y'all have kids together, if y'all have, whatever, and they're just not being the type of father or person that they're supposed to be to their children and to the life and then you can literally, command your spirits or ask your spirits to help them to become a better this or a better that, to serve, or not to serve, but like to be a better this or to better that. For their kids and all this kind of stuff, and that doesn't work, then you put something a little bit stronger and say, okay, well, they need to just do what I asked them to do, since they're not be able to do this on their own with the help of the spirits, So then you just say, okay, well, you better just do A, B, C, and D for these kids and us, and then that's what's going to be that. So That's how you would literally do it versus trying to put somebody in the sunken place unless they are trying to overpower or dominate you. Yes. If they're trying to do harm or dominate you or do something to you that is not good, then yes, you can put them in a sunken place. Okay. If you want to, sometimes, if they stay there. All right. What are y'all talking about? Do you think spirits protect the women they're connected to? Depends on what type of spirits they are. Yes. Hmm. Also, I told y'all about the goddess energy. Like if you connect yourself to a goddess, then definitely you'll be very protected. You said talking about colonizers. I'm calling them colonizers. Colonizers. There's certain reasons why things are spelled the way that they are. When you go and invade someone else's territory as a masculine man, as a man, you go and invade someone's territory and you call it colonization. What does that mean? You're going into their colon? No, ma'am. What about a colon? No colons here, ma'am. Y'all better get a colon cleanser. You said you would, if you were educated, you would know that every group of people have been enslaved at some point. Um, no, not all people. Not all people. Goddesses were never enslaved. Sprinkle, sprinkle. All right. Um, so I think they're talking in code, y'all, when they say people have been enslaved and all this kind of stuff. It's like a code. It's like saying that people's energies or spirits or souls have been enslaved in either the physical or the spiritual realm. Yeah. So, for example, when you work with spirits and ancestor spirits and things like that, if you enslave the spirit, like command them and say you better do A, B, C, and D, and all this kind of stuff, that could equate to an energy or a consciousness being enslaved. That's why you work with them, or you request, or you just mention. You know how you like when you get a sugar daddy, and instead of making them, unless they like it, your slave, you just mention things that you like and they just give it to you. It's different. It's kind of like that. But if you are, you know, locking someone in the basement and saying, you know what, you better give me all your money or else, or you better do what I ask you to do or else, you know what I'm saying? That would be more like a slavery thing. But like I said, when you work with your energies and your spirits and you don't enslave them, because a lot of men like to enslave energies or spirits or wield them like that because they don't naturally have certain types of spirits. So it's more of a masculine thing to want to enslave versus a feminine nature, because we have connection to spirits we don't have to enslave. You know what I'm saying? So I would say definitely feel like should treat your energies and spirits a little nicer and not enslave them. Like if you ever heard about the story of Marie Laveau, where one of her sugar daddies or her common law husbands gave her a house to live in exchange for something. I don't know what it was, but like, so And it also says that she was born on a plantation by a plantation owner from a mistress. So basically, those are examples of slavery, yet having a free spirit and a free energy working with versus for or as a slave of. You know what I'm saying? So when it's like the same thing as when someone says they worship a god or a goddess versus, learning and taking on certain aspects and, becoming a goddess and what they represent. There's a total difference. Just like when women get married to men, they either become the maid and the cook or they become the wife that, does whatever they want. There's differences. Men will treat you different. Women will treat you different. What do you agree to? Because the spirit has to agree with something too. And a lot of times people enter into contracts or situations where they are so desperate or they are so people pleasing or they are so naive that they don't realize what's happening to them. So that's why I always say you have to know who you are. You got to know who you are. And you may learn. You can always change. You don't always have to be what you started off as. So you definitely are able to do that. So some women get married and become the maid and the cook and whatever, and the nanny, and some women don't. It's just whatever you choose. And that's why you make sure the person that you're going to marry is not going to enforce that upon you. Or you make sure that the spirits or the energies that you're working with, you're not enforcing any type of slave mentality upon them. Okay? So in fact, you could even give them allow their personality or their traits to show through so that you could recognize when they are working in your favor. So like if your energy or your spirits they have a sense of humor, you're always going to see some type of sense of humor in whatever they're doing. Whoever they're working through or the method that they're working through to give you information or to do what you need them to do. And if you give them their own allotted amount of time to do it in, no rush, no specifics, they know what you like, then it's not like slavery or a servant at all. And if you don't ask them to do much for you, and it's very, very rare, then it's not like slavery at all. You know what I mean? So a lot of people took advantage of working with spirits and energies and treated them like slaves, which also manifested in the material world as also slavery. Because everything in this realm, sometimes in some time or place will manifest in the other realms. Mm-hmm. You said what? All right. So yeah, we don't do that over here. Mm-hmm. You said prison planet. Yeah. All right. So like, if you think about it, the government also does this to people. Like, it's just layers and upon layers upon layers. But if you free yourself mentally and you treat the energies that you work with freely, then your world then begins to manifest and you bring more freedom to your world, or you bring more, collaboration, or you bring more, whatever it is that you're trying to bring to your own world. So if you don't like working with people and you're very private, then you're going to bring privacy. If you like working with people, then you're going to bring more collaboration. If you want to do both and take breaks and whatnot, then that's what you do. But see, like in government, the IRS and all that kind of stuff. You know, they make you pay to just live in the country that you live in to work. They make you pay to just work. You know what I'm saying? They make you do a lot of stuff. So whatever, just don't take it seriously and just continue to create your world. You know, think of it as taxes to continue to create your own world. You know what I mean? Think of yourself as if you're in an arcade and those are the prices you got to pay to continue to build your own world and your game or whatever it is that you're doing. Because a lot of people, you know, will try to see that as a different thing. But if you don't see it as that, then it won't be that for you and you won't create it in your world. Because I don't see it like that. Sprinkle, sprinkle. He said manifesting old energies is counterproductive. Not really. There are people that are old that have more knowledge and wisdom than anybody that I've ever met. You know what I'm saying? Or energies that are very old that still have more to offer than people that I've never met. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of times people are very shallow, they're not very smart, they're not of interest a lot of times because, you know, some people's mind and what they're like really fascinated by may not be something new or modern. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't realize that's why people like manifesting ancestors or beings that may not, you know, that are from the past or the dead or, you know, the reincarnated people from whatever. A lot of people don't like working or manifesting with spirits that don't have anything valuable to learn. You know? Okay. You know how you can read a book over and over and get something totally different out of it each time, but it's the same book? That's how it is. You said, have I unlocked my past lives? Unlocked my past lives? You mean the lives behind me in the past? How do you unlock your past lives, shall I ask? Look, I'm finna play dumb now. How do you unlock your past? Oh, the X back? Girl, don't nobody want no X. All right. Who still want their X? All right. A lot of y'all are talking about men who never even claimed you, so they ain't even your ex. They just somebody. You know, a lot of times your energies or your spirits or your ancestors or whatever will bring you someone into your life. They're not supposed to be permanent. So you may not are supposed to be with that person. You know what I'm saying? They're not, you might not supposed to be with them. They might have had a purpose and the purpose has been done and now that's it. You're supposed to go. Right? Mm-hmm. All right. Sprinkle, sprinkle. All right. So yeah, I was asking y'all how do you unlock your past lives? Y'all asked me if I have unlocked my past lives. I'm asking y'all how to do it. No thoughts on Akashic records. Women don't have to think about that. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You don't think you unlock them. They are still part of who you are right now. You can get flash. Oh, watch my old videos. I talk about all of that stuff back in the day. So here's the thing. Akashic records are naturally within you. You don't have to think about them. They are just there. Especially, you know, as a divine goddess. You don't have to think about them. You are automatically have access to all of that. Okay. There are no thoughts on them. They just are. Mm-hmm. Where do you research to find out about different goddesses? Can someone help her? Could somebody help her? Mm-hmm. Gee, where do I research stuff at? I don't, ma'am, I don't know. You see now, y'all see? It's like, what? Is you a bot? This is a bot. Those are the types of questions that bots ask. All right. Y'all got to do better, bots. Y'all got to do better. All right. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Mm-hmm. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You say you feel it in your spirit when a guy cheats? Do they feel it in their spirit when they woman cheat? I wonder. You should ask them. Do y'all feel it in y'all spirit when y'all women cheat? I don't think they do. That's why it's harder for women to get caught. All right. What do you do when a man doesn't conform through spiritual and affirming and a spell was put in? You have to speak. Well, it depends on how you speak to them. Okay. You have to assert your goddess nature. You have to assert your goddess level and let them know. Like a lot of times, men's beliefs will keep them from keep things from working for you. So you have to say, like literally, they have to know that you don't believe in a male god. Like this, it's psychological, this part. They have to know out of your own mouth that you do not believe in a male god and you are above all of that. And basically that you have, the authority. You know what I'm saying? So you don't You don't let them see or know that you're submissive to any male form in the spiritual or the physical. And all of a sudden, when they know that, something clicks, and then it's easier for those energies and spirits and spells to work on them. Okay. So it's basically like telling them to drop and get out. It's basically sending them to the sunken place. Or you rising above them, which is the same thing. All right. So either you could send them to the sunken place or rise high above them so that they are beneath you and submissive to you. Right? So, yes. So if you believe that the female goddess or the goddess is the highest, and that you don't believe in any male gods, there you go. That's how it works. Okay. Damn, just gonna say that with guys in here. Sorry. I just don't. I told y'all beware when y'all got up in here. So I'll delete the comment section. How about that? That way y'all will be free. Or just delete your own comment to be free. So yeah, I'm not saying that to put y'all there. I'm just giving the example of how women can do that if they need to. Because a lot of women don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. But sometimes they have to. And I'll tell y'all some good examples of why women have to. Because if a man starts trying to dominate over you and try to tell you what to do and try to do all this crazy stuff over you, you got to let him know. Because otherwise it could escalate. And you don't want that. It could escalate to something serious and you don't want that. So it's literally to help them calm down and to shut up and to do what you need them to do. What's my favorite grimoire? Don't have one. Sparkle, sparkle. All right. What are your thoughts on creating an account with? I don't have any thoughts on that, ma'am. Sparkle, sparkle. Like, y'all have to realize when you say like high priestess or high this or high that, just say goddess. It's higher. Okay. You said martial arts, so warlike arts. So you want to be a priestess that wants to create war, like arts. That's what you're literally saying. And passions. But you're still beneath a goddess. You know what I'm saying? Or empress, yeah. So like I wouldn't take that position. Like I'm gonna give myself a good position. If you're gonna give yourself a position, give yourself a good position in your own life. You know what I'm saying? Like you have all these words to use. You can use them in your favor versus to create war and within yourself. So don't do that. So here's what you should use instead of high priestess. Because who are the people beneath you? Like who's coming to you for spiritual information? Because that's what a high priestess does, right? They give you spiritual insight and information. Do you really want to do that? Okay. To what countries do I want to travel? 0. 0 for now. I'm too busy doing what I need to do here. Sprinkle, sprinkle. It's because you're a martial artist. You love the art. Your current account is business and life. Okay. So, see, I don't like any of those words. I would never use any of those words to describe anything that I would do, only because I know what they mean on a deeper level and a higher level at the same time. So, especially as a woman, it's very masculine. So, I would literally say, okay, I practice and then name the type of martial art that it is. That means you don't really create war, but you practice this specific type of, you know, of art. But you're like, take the word martial out of it, and then you would say um, life coaching. So you're going to coach someone on how to live life. This is not a sport. It's not a team. So I would literally just say, like, I never claim titles like that because it's too confining and against yourself. You know what I'm saying? So change your vocabulary. Make it a little bit more friendly or less warlike. Mm-hmm. Said, just go with the warrior goddess who coaches people on how to live. Basically, you want to tell somebody what to do. Ah, in a warlike fashion. Sprinkle, sprinkle. No thanks. Nobody want that. That's okay. You said, what's wrong with your? Nothing wrong with your vocabulary. Just choose different words. Like everybody chooses the same words. Like that. Like everybody want to be a life coach. Everybody want to do this. Everybody want to. Y'all ever stop to think about why these terms are? I would, if I'm going to be a quote unquote, if you're going to be a quote unquote life coach, come up with a different way to describe that position. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's a life coach, man. Everybody got cars that say life coach, but they life looking like crazy. You got a life coach who live in their car, man. Okay, they got cars that say life coach. It's not really credible because so many people are using the term. That's why I wouldn't use it. Because everybody a life coach. Okay. I I never submit to any male energies spiritually, me neither. Physically, mentally, or emotionally, I am a goddess of love, beauty, fertility, music. Good for you. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Hmm. I think so many people are just trying to find a purpose in life that they forget that they can create a purpose in life. They're looking for something that they literally can create. See, men have to find a purpose in life. Women create their purpose. Okay. It is masculine to look for your purpose. It is feminine to create it. So I'm getting ready to wrap this up. Sprinkle, sprinkle, y'all. Appreciate y'all for becoming subscribers. Do I believe? I don't believe in none of that. If it's male created, I don't believe in it, ma'am. If a man created it, I don't believe in it. Okay? I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it at all. A human design was in the womb. Okay? Y'all trying to come up with all this fancy stuff of human design and all this kind of stuff. Is a spirit stacked on top of each other, creating a personality? Is it man-made? Is it a way for men to enter into the realm of a woman? Who knows? But at the same time, if I didn't create it as a goddess, if a woman can't create it, then I don't believe in it. Okay? If it's not naturally created through the woman, I don't believe in it. Okay? Y'all have to realize that. He said his purpose is his woman. She holds the blueprint. Oh, her purpose is her son, her child, and she makes sure that he does what he needs to do. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. And a husband or a man was a son before he was anything. Remember that. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Mm-hmm. A man's purpose is to please his woman, to do what she asks him to do, to bring home the money so that she could create what she wants with it. There you go. But see how men will always try to rule over you? That's why, like, men will always try to rule over you in anything. Why? This is why this is why women have to this is why women have to turn to the spirits to get y'all to remember who we are. Put y'all back in y'all place. Because men will always try to rule over women. It's silly. You need to stop doing that. Remember that. You ain't nothing unless you came from a woman. Okay? And the goddess is always the highest. Always going to be the highest. Why? Because that's where everyone comes from. Is it smart to let him think he's dominant? One, although you know you're controlling him? Sometimes. Because if you don't, like, if your spirits or your energies are within that person, you know, you got to let them know that you're still, you know, the one that they're doing these things for. Like, you could say it like, okay, like, let's say if they're working through your husband or whatever. You can say, oh, thank you. That's so nice. And, you know, that's it. Or, and then you can like be a little bit nonchalant and not be super nice all the time. But then you're not really harming them. You're just not allowing them to think that they are any type of dominance. You know what I'm saying? All right. You said men must rule over women or women will go crazy. Men say women. Then why are there crazy men? Who's supposed to rule over them? Are they supposed to be gay? Is that why y'all say gay men have mental disorder? Or y'all, that's why men used to say being homosexual was a mental disorder? So who's supposed to rule over the crazy men? See how it don't make no sense? There's crazy men out there walking around right now that need men to rule over them. How come that ain't working? Hmm. And so, that makes zero sense. Listen, you still don't get it. Okay, let them think they're supposed to rule over you. You could really just control what they're trying to do. All right. Just control what they're doing anyway, girl. Use your spirits, use your period blood, use your all of that kind of stuff and control them. They can be an automaton, whatever you need them to be. Smart, smart. That's what they call them. Just create you a man. Make them do what you want. Because obviously they think that they are supposed to be over you. Um, Men would be so easily controlled by the power of the P if it wasn't that true. Right. No, they have to have some type of, okay, it's like a child. It's like a child. If you don't give them some type of purpose, some type of applause, or some type of, yay, you did it, or yeah, yeah, you're a big boy. They're going to try to find something to make themselves feel, like they're all that. So as women, we have to give them a purpose. So a lot of times women will say, okay, yeah, you go run that over there. Oh, yes, I'm so proud of you. Oh, my goodness. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. But really, the woman really runs things. But the man just thinks he has some type of position because you don't want to let them know you really running things. Mhm. They need the illusion. Exactly. Hmm. So there's a story. I can't remember the story, but like, oh yeah, it's the Conjuring story. Y'all can go find the Conjuring story on YouTube, all right? So the Conjuring story, y'all know the movie The Conjuring? So the lady that they called the Conjuring Witch, she went and bought her own house while her husband was away. So she owned the property, the land, and the house. Okay. So this is very spiritual. When the husband returned to the house, like since it was under her name and it was her property and it was all her, he was then under the control of her. And when you have, especially if you're a woman and you have period blood in a cycle and you pour your blood into the earth, you do your little thing around the house, that's your house. You know what I'm saying? And so she knew what she was doing. Hmm. Do I see spirits in my sleep? How am I gonna see spirits in my sleep? Who would they look like? Normal people or like spirits? Okay, the blood, the blood. Yeah. So um y'all gotta think about that. So okay, so if you're a man and you don't want to be dominated over, you don't want no woman put no spirits in you to make her do whatever you want them to do. then you just need to be automatically a nice guy that doesn't try to rule over or take advantage of a woman, and literally just be a nice man, a good man. That's it. That's all you got to do is do right. Do what you're supposed to be doing. And no woman will be trying to do nothing to you. Period. She won't need no spirits on you. That's just what it is. You just do what you're supposed to do. No problems. think like, just if I don't mess up as like, men, tell yourself, if you don't mess up as a man, you ain't got to worry about it. Women won't even think about it until she need to think about doing stuff like that. Hmm. You said men's purpose is to instruct and correct women. Instruct and correct women. But how are you going to instruct and correct anything if the women is smarter than you? They're just gonna laugh at you and be like, boy, bye. You ain't teaching nobody nothing. If you want to instruct and correct women, then you need to work as a teacher in an all girls school. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And hopefully you got the correct credentials. Uh, so I told you a lot of men try to emulate a woman bleeding monthly and spreading her energies and spirits throughout, however, by donating blood or sperm or whatever to sperm banks and blood banks and stuff like that. That's how they try to emulate the energies and the spirits and the influence or the power or the spirits by giving their blood or trying to bleed every month. That's not the same type of blood. See, you can emulate bleeding out of your artery and vein, but it's not the same type of blood because your uterus and your womb have more than just blood in there. There's stem cells and all sorts of spiritual types of energy that comes from there because we're connected to the spiritual realm. So it's not the same as just the blood coming out your vein. So it's still a mockery. You know how they say in the Bible that they will try to mock and be like God s. And so when men have to go purposely give blood in order to bleed monthly, when they purposely have to switch out, the feminine figure and put a masculine figure who's bleeding on a cross to instill patriarchy, you mimic where you come from, or when you mimic your god or your goddess, you mimic the goddess as a god. That is what they call blasphemy. It's like, that's blasphemy. So, it's kind of cute. It's very cute until you try to really feel that it's true. You know, it's kind of like flattery until you take it too seriously. All right. If you're a man, you should just be happy. Just be happy that you're a man. Don't try to be the woman. All right, yeah, I'm getting ready to leave. I'm gonna go read my books. I got a bunch of books I'm reading right now and learning and doing all those type of things. But I see y'all subscribe to the channel. I said, if you're a man, just be happy you're a man. Yeah. I guess what would be devastating is if you found out that the male god and like dominance over the female was um, all false and incorrect. How would you feel as a man to know, like, oh my gosh, the highest energy or the highest whatever is not a man? Could you imagine how they would feel? Duped. They would be like, oh man, literally. He said, we not queens, we're goddesses, sir. The highest goddess. No queens. You know why? Well, unless you want to be, like, just depends. If you want to be a queen, you could be a queen. But stay in your goddess status. That way no one rules over you. Okay. All right, I'm see y'all later. Bye. Where's